and welcome to another glorious read. I am your host, Aspen Sage. Let's get into it. I hope everybody's having a fantastic day. I hope you had a fantastic week. I hope things went your way. I hope you treated yourself. I hope everything just went your way. I know that I had an okay week. I got a lot of work done. And of course, the most important thing, I finished the fourth and final book to the Eltrich Blues. So the ancient monster, the last and fourth final book. My questions have been answered, and all my theories have been answered except one. Only one theory. I am amazed how this book turned out. The ending, it was not what I expected though. So, ancient monsters. Obviously, we have August and Tellerin and Noddy and Archie and Uncle Frederick. A lot of stuff went down. We found out that Tellerin is actually a Fey king who was turned into a Fey knight, the Knight of Dawn, and then he was turned into the aberrant monster that they all know. No, he does get his memories back. It was brought on by one of the fellow knights that he was working with before he turned monster. He was supposed to marry a queen. That said queen was going to destroy August. Of course, that didn't go well. And now they are dealing with an Elric conquering war coming. So basically, the monsters from the other realm are coming to destroy the humans, the supernatural, the mystics, the phantoms, everybody, spectras. It doesn't matter if they were anybody but their own kind. We do find things out about August's mother. August's mother is, in fact, like my theory said, alive. I always knew it, and we actually find out a little bit more about August's family tree. And I was also right on a theory that August's father was from the other realm. And what's worst of all is her father is the one that created Tellerin as this monster. And it's actually kind of funny how the story inlines. So how the author did it, and I'm very admiring about this, is she kind of foretold how this situation was going to go. And you find it near the end of the book when they're talking to August's mother about how everything happened, how she was conceived, why she had to disappear. They told her about the army. They knew it was coming. How her father has actually lost half his soul because of another ancient who's basically raising this army. And basically, Amy, who is August's mother, told Tellerin when he was a captive, when he was still just Fey, about August, and he told her about his land. So there was little foretelling about Tellerin already knew who August was. And maybe that was why he's so drawn to her in the first place. Because maybe she gave off the same power as Amy did. And he just couldn't help but be bound to her. Her father, on the other hand, where even he has solace, he sometimes goes into crazy fits. Other times he is lucid, he understands what's going on. And him and Tellerin are actually like the same. And he's like, well, you're here, let's get your soul back to you. And he's like, well, no, I don't want to lose a monster. And he goes, oh, yeah, about that. It's so, the things I did to you are permanent. You keep your monster. And like, he's like, oh, so I can't be Fae again. And he's like, no, you're still Fae. He's just like, but you're a monster too. He's like, okay. He's like, you know what, I can accept that. And so can August. And you find out that, August's mother has been basically turned into a powerhouse for the Eltrich realm. And that's why she can't escape. That's why she can't come home. Basically, her mother's like, well, if you get rid of me, nothing can happen. And of course, August is like, absolutely not. And of course, her lover is like, absolutely not. That's not going to happen. so much happens in this last book between everybody banding together. Your shifters, your werewolves, or sorry, correction, your shifters, your vampires, your spectros, your everybody who kind of has their own community comes together to work with the guild, to work with the rift walkers and the handlers. Of course, August now has her pack because her Eldritch enhancement, thanks to the order, what is no longer there, because they kind of dismembered it. They did find Guinevere, and of course, she did, as she said, was dying. Uh, so there was a lot that happened in this book. I will say, and I'm happy to say, that it did end on a happy note, with basically August and Tellerin going with her mother to basically spend time with her, where they were robbed at that time, and her father, because now her father has her soul back. August freed it. This book was so in depth and so good. Sometimes when I was reading it, I felt like it got off track a little bit. Like it was just bouncing. Like I'm like, is this really vital information? Like Lotho, our incubus, he came to see Nadi before he left because he was getting called back to the Fey realm to serve with his brother. And then you don't hear of him again, really, other than the end of the story. Oh, do you think Lotho's ever gonna come back? And they're like, I don't think he is. You don't hear much of it. Nadi found out that her teacher that she respected so much wasn't the person she thought she was. Dottie, our ghost that haunts the coffee machine, was freed and by an unlikely source. It's quite funny. And when she's freed, she's excited. And of course, Archie, she's like, all worried about Archie. And Archie's like, I think where he originally liked Dottie, like he was in love with her, I think he fell harder for Dottie. Because they were like best friends and like hugging and like he now respects her more. Where it's funny because in the beginning of the book, he's like, I hate that copy machine. She's like, nobody could hear her other than Naughty. And Naughty's like, well, she has some unkind words about you. And then they become basically best friends to lovers. I'm pretty sure. But like I said, the only theory I did not get answer to was Uncle Frederick. Other than Uncle Frederick has a lover, that he doesn't have really that deep of a story. Like he didn't know about like the bloodlines as much, other than the great great grandfather who told August about it. So like Frederick is just there. He's just that overprotective uncle that's like protects all the kids. He's like, these are my kids. I give them a safe haven. They do what they want. I give them guidance. If they take it, that's great. If they don't, I'll have a heart attack later. So he's kind of just that overbearing parent. Like I said, these books are so, so good. There are other collections to Debbie Cassidy's writing. I have not read them yet, but I will probably down the line maybe do another one. But I do love it that her and Tellerin get to be together at the end. They basically accepted each other's monsters. They know each other. Spice level on point. It's about more mild horror for me. It's not too in depth. There's just the right amount to go to the story, especially where it feeds into the story of August needing to feed, and that includes not feeding on just the objects, but also the sexual tension. Or, I guess in this case, she needs him to please her to the point of explosion. So I love how the story is. The story is wonderful. I gave it a 5 stars. I give the whole series a 5 stars. It's beautifully done. Debbie Cassidy wrote this book. I could see the heart in it, see the characters' love. I love the depth of it. It is beautifully done. I'm sorry I waited so long to read it. It's great. It's wonderful. But I love how much all my theories are. We're almost in depth with it, except for one thing is I thought the bad guy in the book, who was giving August all these answers, was her father. But I find out that her father was actually the person that turned her monster. So, like, it's so beautifully done. And of course, they say bygones, but let's be bygones. keep going. We both will burn the world for our women. I'm sorry for what I did to you. He's like, he even apologizes for what he did to the young Failings. He's like, I was not in the right mind. I had to do what I had to do to save my lover. And he's like, fine, I understand. He goes, I'd do the same for August. Like, they're like, all right, so we're good? We shake on it? Yeah. And the best thing is, I love how the author, she did this so well. Like, in my books, getting off a little topic, at the end of my series, there is basically one person to end it all. One person that's going to save everybody. Obviously, he has help from other people, but in the end of my series, there's only one, like, unsung hero that nobody expects. In this book that she did, Cassidy, she did so well, and she had August's father and her lover and the bad guy. Like, they ripped him apart. And I basically squealed with joy. I'm like, yes! Yes! Like, he deserved to go out like that. Because I guess only ancients can kill ancients. And even though Talon is a monster, he was just the right amount of force to end that said bad guy. So I love how that book ended. And like I said, they kind of go together. They're like, this isn't by. We'll do a see you later kind of thing. So that basically August is going to jump between realms. She can now stay in the... So if you haven't read this series yet, I suggest going to Amazon, buying the Kindle or paperback version. Definitely add it to your TBR list. I like it. It was such a good book. It's such a good story. Like I said, multiple times before, I regret not picking up this book sooner. It's almost like the Court of Thorns and Roses. I regret not picking up sooner and falling on that bandwagon. I'm so excited for the 6th book. But now I have to choose another book to read in between waiting for Convict Story. Now, I could just finish Haunting Adeline, but I'm a little slower on reading paperbacks, especially when I'm not able to put it down right away, or it's kind of harder for me to focus on. So, regardless, it's nice to read. I'm hoping for Convict Story. It's coming out September 18th, so I can add 2 that said Skeleton Crew, and I'm excited to find out his story. So I guess I'll have to search my TBR shelf. I might go back to the Jenny Fox series. It was one of my first book reviews, and it was the War Guard's favorite, so maybe I'll do the White King's favorite. I'm not sure yet. I will definitely let you guys know on the next review. Or like I said, I could finish Haunted Adeline, because I love this book. It's not how I expected it to be. But I know it's a quick review today, and I know sometimes my reviews go from anywhere from 15 minutes to 23 to longer. But like I said, guys, you really need to pick up Cassidy series, The Arrogant Monster, the Eltrich Blues. It is a really good storyline. I absolutely love it. I definitely think you guys should read it also. Remember, support your authors. They work hard on these stories. They really do. They put so much life and love and compassion into them. You really should support them. I know I enjoy it when I hear from my own readers also. But regardless, I hope everybody has a fantastic day. I have to get ready for a big storm coming in today. As much as I love my writing and reading, I have also responsibilities to do, because also being a mom and a farmer, I have to make sure everything's battened down before we get some storms. Supposedly we're supposed to get a possible tornado. I don't know. It's unusual up here. If anything, it might be a lot of rain, some hail, and high winds. But we'll see. I hope everybody has a safe, fantastic weekend. I hope you do something adventurous. I hope you go get something you desire. I hope you get a book that you've been eyeing. Also, speaking of books, I know this is what basically we do here on reviews. If anybody's interested, I have an Etsy shop called This Is in Stone, OLS. You can buy printed shirts, sweatshirts, and bag that are book themed. I do create them on Canvas, and then I take Canvas and put them to printables, and printable prints out that said products for me. It's just a little side thing that I've tried, and hopefully you get some book stuff going, because I like everything books. I make my own bookmarks. I try to make little Kindle holders that go beside the bed, or book holders. I also create little book ends. So if you guys want, you can check that out. Obviously, it's not a promotional thing. It's no different than me reviewing books for authors. Um, they don't pay me to do it. I literally just read books out of pure enjoyment and let you guys know about it. And so you can read them and spread the word, or, fall into a new world that fits your desire. But regardless, I hope everybody has a fantastic day. Thank you for listening and I will catch you next time with the next book review. Bye bye.